Welcome back to the deep dive. Okay, so you sent us just an enormous amount of source material on, well, one of the most creative, but also maybe one of the most corporately complicated careers in recent music history.
Just putting it mildly. Yeah.
Today, we're not just looking at a rapper. We are trying to unpack Dwayne Michael Carter Jr., who you know as Lil Wayne. He's really a force of nature, isn't he? A cultural phenomenon, a business figure, just this blueprint for modern hip-hop influence.
That's exactly the mission here. We've got, 3 decades of career to synthesize. It's a huge task, going from, like, the child prodigy Baby D all the way to Wheezy F Baby, the guy who, has charted more songs than Elvis Presley. It's wild.
More than Elvis, yeah.
Our sources cover everything: his early start, the trauma, his artistic shifts, that crazy commercial peak, the legal nightmares, and, importantly, his deep influence on music today.
It really is a life lived at, like, warp speed. And so much of it played out in public, even the really vulnerable moments. So we're going to trace it all. From his New Orleans roots, that childhood genius mixed with tragedy, through the whole Cash Money rise, founding Young Money, the mixtape era, which was just revolutionary.
Groundbreaking, really.
The Ty Carter albums, and then those huge public battles, the legal stuff, the health scares. It's a lot.
It is. It's complex, full of contradictions.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's start at the beginning, those early foundations.
Okay. New Orleans, Holly Grove, Uptown, September 27, 1982. That's where Dwayne Michael Carter Jr. is born.
Right. And the context there is so important. His mother was only 19, and his biological father, he left when Wayne was just 2. Abandoned the family. That absence is critical.
You really see it reflected in his name change,
Yeah.
right? Dropping the D.
Exactly. It's intentional. The sources are clear. He said he didn't want the name Dwayne because his father was never there. A total rejection.
So Wayne isn't just a stage name. It's like reclaiming his identity.
It really is. It's symbolic. And he often talked about his stepfather, Reginald Rabbit McDonald, who passed away, as his real father. He even has a tattoo dedicated to Rabbit.
That focus on chosen family, loyalty. You see that theme running through Cash Money, Young Money later on.
It starts right there, yeah.
Yeah.
But what's also striking from the sources is this duality in his childhood.
Hmm.
Before the, street element took over, he was genuinely gifted academically.
Yeah, I saw that. Gifted program in elementary school, honor student, drama club in secondary school. He played the Tin Man in the Wiz.
Right, that's the detail people forget. He had this other path, this other potential. Wrote his first rap at age 8. But the environment, Holly Grove, that was tough.
And that environment led to him leaving high school, right? Not because of grades.
No, not at all. He left Marion Abramson Senior High in 10th grade because his mother found a gun he was carrying for protection. She pulled him out, basically, to get his GED instead. Survival first.
That's intense. And it leads directly to that near-fatal incident in 1994.
Yeah. The shooting. He was only 12 years old. Self-inflicted gunshot wound to the chest.
And the story around that has changed over time, hasn't it?
It has. Initially, it was reported as an accident. But years later, in 2018, Wayne himself said it was actually a suicide attempt. Apparently, his mother had told him he had to stop rapping and those associations. That conflict almost killed him.
Just devastating. But then there's this moment of almost grace. The off-duty officer, Robert Hubler, Uncle Bob.
Uncle Bob, yeah. Wayne credits him with saving his life. Hubler apparently insisted they rush him to the hospital in the police car immediately, didn't wait for an ambulance. That decision probably made all the difference.
Wow. So this mix of, like, raw talent and deep trauma,
Yeah.
it seems to push him straight towards music, towards Cash Money.
Absolutely. He's discovered by Brian Baby Williams Birdman in 1991. Signs with Cash Money Records. He's 11 years old.
11, just a kid.
A kid. He starts off in a duo, the Bee Gees with BG. That's when Wayne was Baby D. They put out an album, True Story, in 95.
But the real launching pad was the Hot Boys, right?
Definitely. 1997. Juvenile, Turk, BG, and Wayne the youngest member, only 14. They really established the Cash Money sound and brand.
Get It How You Live, then Guerrilla Warfare in 99. That one hit the Billboard charts, number 5.
Yeah, Guerrilla Warfare was their major label debut. Had hits like, We on Fire, I Need a Hot Girl.
Mm-hmm.
He basically grew up inside the music industry machine. Learned it all as a teenager.
Okay, so that sets him up for his solo career, which, as you mentioned, started strong commercially, but maybe critics weren't fully on board yet.
That's a good way to put it. Fab Lock is Hot, his debut in 99 when he was 17, platinum, hit number 3 on Billboard. Huge start.
But the next couple, Lights Out in 2000, 500 Degrees in 2002, they didn't quite hit the same mark.
Right. Both went gold, which is
Yeah.
still successful, obviously, but critically, yeah, got a more lukewarm reception. Some critics pointed out a, quote, lack of coherent narratives in his verses.
Like he hadn't quite found his voice yet. Still kind of working within that established Hot Boys Cash Money sound.
Pretty much. And 500 Degrees, that title alone tells a story. It was a direct shot at Juvenile, who had left Cash Money and had that massive hit album 400 Degrees.
Ah, so internal label beef spilling onto the album titles. Classic.
Yeah, the tensions were already there. But even while figuring out his solo identity, he stayed visible with features. He was on that 3LW track, Neva Get Enough, and of course he was on Juvenile's huge hit, Back That Ass Up.
Kept his name out there.
Kept him relevant while he was honing his craft, and boy did it pay off in 2004.
The Carter. Okay, this was the turning point.
Absolutely seismic. This wasn't just another record. Critics immediately recognized it. A major advancement in his rapping style and lyrical themes, they said. This was the arrival.
And visually, too, right? This is when the dreadlocks appear on the cover, signaling a whole new persona.
Totally. The look matched the sound. It sold nearly 900,000 copies in the U.S. And Go Gijay was a big hit, top 5 on the R&B hip-hop chart. Confirmed the evolution was working commercially, too.
And he started getting these huge mainstream features. Destiny's Child, Soldier, with T.I. That was massive.
Huge. Peaked at number 3 on the Hot 100. Put him right in the pop conversation, way beyond just hip-hop circles.
So the creative side is exploding, but he was also making moves on the business side around this time.
Yeah, which is pretty remarkable for someone his age. In 2005, he's actually named president of Cash Money Records.
President? Wow.
22, Tom, 3 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And he immediately uses that position. Same year, he founds Young Money Entertainment as an imprint of Cash Money and Universal.
Smart move. Building his own platform under the bigger umbrella. That obviously pays off later with Drake and Nicki.
Hugely instrumental. Though, interestingly, he didn't stay in that president role for too long. By 2007, he hands the day-to-day management of Young Money over to Cortez Bryant. Seems like he wanted to focus purely on the music again.
And that focus led to Ty Carter II in 2005.
Which debuted at number 2. Sold 2 million worldwide eventually. Big success. But there's a really important behind-the-scenes detail here. Mannie Fresh wasn't involved.
Oh, wow. The main Cash Money producer. Why not?
The sources point to money issues, financial disputes with the label. Mannie Fresh basically co-created the whole Cash Money sound, and him leaving over royalty problems. That was a major red flag about how Cash Money operated financially, problems that, would eventually catch up to Wayne himself.
It's like you can hear the foundation starting to crack, even as the empire's growing. Still, Ty Carter II had hits like Fireman, Hustler Music.
Yeah, strong singles. And then in 2006, you get the collaboration album with Birdman, Like Father, Like Son. And that gave us Stuntin' Like My Daddy.
Which became like an instant catchphrase, cemented that whole mentor-protege narrative they were pushing.
Exactly. So that whole mid-2000s period, it really set the stage for his absolute peak. But the way he got there, it wasn't the usual album cycle. He did something different.
The mixtapes.
The mixtape revolution.
Yeah.
This is where things get really interesting because people credit Wayne with basically changing the whole game here. How artists stayed relevant, how hype was built.
Instead of just waiting for the next album, he just unleashed this flood of material.
A plethora of mixtapes and guest appearances, as one source put it. It was saturation, deliberate, keep his voice everywhere.
And some of those mixtapes became legendary in their own right. Dedication 2, Daryl Drought 3.
Absolutely critical works. They got massive media attention, critical acclaim, because they showed just how hungry he was. He'd take anyone's beat, any hit instrumental, and just attack it, make it his own.
Dedication 2 had that track Georgia Bush, right? Critiquing the Hurricane Katrina response.
Yeah, that was a powerful moment. Showed he could use that lyrical skill for serious commentary, too, not just punchlines about money and cars. It was raw, personal.
And Dale Drought 3, that was free, and he was rapping over other people's hits.
Yep. Released for free, legal download. And the concept was audacious. He's basically saying to the entire industry, give me your biggest song right now, I'll rap over it, release it for free, and probably do it better.
It was pure competitive fire.
That seems legally risky, even if it was free. How did that strategy work so well? Because it created insane buzz.
Oh.
It bypassed all the official channels, radio, label promotion. It was pure street-level demand. He was everywhere. all the time, even without an official album. Rolling Stone even called The Drought 3 one of the best albums of 2007, even though it was technically, an unauthorized mixtape.
Wow. So the free content built massive anticipation for whatever he charged for next.
Exactly. It proved the model could work. And it cemented his status as the feature king.
Right. He was popping up everywhere. Fat Joe's Make It Rain got a Grammy nomination for that. DJ Khaled's We Taken Over, Lloyd's You. Big hits.
His output was just relentless. By the end of 2007, everyone recognized it. MTV called him the hottest MC in the game.
Yes.
The New Yorker said he was Rapper of the Year, GQ, Workaholic of the Year. All that momentum built towards the monster.
The Carter III, 2008. But that album had its own drama before it even came out, right? Leaks.
Oh, yeah. It was heavily leaked, delayed multiple times. He actually had to put out an EP called The Leak in 2007, basically using some of the leaked tracks just to get ahead of it.
But when it finally dropped in June 2008, the numbers were staggering.
Over 1 million copies.
Yeah.
In the first week. In the U.S. That hadn't happened since 50 Cent's The Massacre 3 years earlier. It wasn't just a rap album. It was a full-blown cultural event.
And the singles were unavoidable. Lollipop, his first solo #1 on the Hot 100.
Featuring Static Major, yeah. Huge hit. And Got Money with T-Pain was top 10, too. The album just dominated.
Led to that big Grammy night, too. 4 awards.
Yep. Including Best Rap Album, Best Rap Song for Lollipop. His visibility was just total, headlining festivals, the VMAs.
And didn't he perform at the Country Music Awards?
He did, with Kid Rock.
Yeah.
First hip-hop act ever to perform at the CMAs. Showed how far his reach had extended, just genre-breaking influence.
Okay, so this is the absolute peak, but then things start to shift a bit. He puts out the Young Money compilation.
Right. We're Young Money in 2009, certified gold, gave us massive hits like Every Girl and Bedrock, really launched Drake and Nicki into the stratosphere.
And then Rebirth, the rock album.
Ah, yes. Rebirth, 2010. His big experimental swing, released just before he went to jail. And, well...
It didn't go over well.
Generally negative reviews, yeah. Critics mostly panned it. Some called it his worst album since maybe 500 Degrees. It proved that even Wayne's Midas touch didn't automatically work across any genre he tried.
But even going to jail didn't stop him commercially. He released an album while incarcerated.
He did. I Am Not a Human Being. Dropped on his 28th birthday in 2010, while he was serving 8 months at Rikers Island for that 2007 weapons charge.
And it went #1.
His 5th #1 album. Made him the first rapper since Tupac in '95 to have a #1 album while locked up. It just shows the insane loyalty of his fan base. They were waiting no matter what.
So he gets out and immediately pivots back to the main franchise, that Carter IV.
Yep. Carter IV era begins, which also, sadly, kind of marks the beginning of the end of his relationship with Cash Money.
But Carter IV itself was huge, right? Debuted at #1 in 2011.
Huge. Sold 964,000 copies first week. Which is interesting because it actually outsold Jay-Z and Kanye West's big collab album, Watch the Throne, which had dropped earlier that summer. Wayne still had the commercial edge.
And this is when he breaks that Elvis record.
That's right. September 27, 2012. He officially surpasses Elvis Presley for the most songs ever on the Billboard Hot 100. 109 entries at that point.
How did he manage that? Was it just the features?
It was largely the features, yeah. And the mixtape tracks that charted, it reflected the digital era, how song consumption was tracked. Every guest spot counted. His high-volume strategy basically hacked the chart rules of the time. He mastered that system.
And he was still everywhere on features. Drake's Miss Me, The Motto. Eminem's No Love. Chris Brown, Kelly Rowland.
Domination. But it was around this time, 2012, 2014, that he started talking about retirement, saying Thigh Carter V would be his last album. Wanted to focus on his kids, other interests.
That promise didn't exactly pan out smoothly.
Not even close. First, we got I Am Not a Human Being Tipped in 2013. Mixed reviews again. Some critics felt the quality was maybe slipping a bit, maybe fatigue setting in.
And then the wheels just came off with Thigh Carter V. Late 2014, everything just stopped.
Ground to a halt. Wayne went public. Said the album was done, but Cash Money and Birdman wouldn't release it. Claimed they were holding him and his music prisoner over money.
This wasn't just a delay, this was war.
Full-blown legal and financial war. The sources say he sued them for $51 million in early 2015. Alleged they owed him an $8 million advance for Carter V, plus tons of unpaid royalties for him and Young Money artists. His masterpiece was finished but locked away. Just imagine that creative frustration.
But he fought back creatively too, right? With mixtapes?
Yeah, brilliantly. He dropped, For the Wait 2 in 2015. And the whole mixtape is basically just him dissing Birdman and Cash Money over other people's beats, using the music as his weapon.
And he found a way around them for distribution, too, with
Yeah.
Tidal.
Exactly. He became an artist owner at Jay-Z's Tidal platform, and then he exclusively released the Free Wheezy album there in 2015 under Young Money and Republic Records, completely bypassing Cash Money, a clear act of rebellion.
You could see the toll it was taking, though, that tweet in 2016. Defenseless and mentally defeated, hinting at retirement again.
That was a low point. But the support he got from other artists, from fans, it showed how much people wanted him to pull through.
And eventually he did. Settlement reached in June 2018.
Yeah, announced he was finally free from Cash Money. And then finally, Thy Carter V, released on his 36th birthday, September 27, 2018.
And the reception was huge, like a collective sigh of relief.
Absolutely. Debuted at #1,
Yeah,
obviously,
sure.
massive streaming numbers, second biggest streaming week ever for an album at that time, only behind Drake. The demand was just incredible after all those years.
It proved he was still relevant. Every song charted.
Every single song on the album hit the Billboard Hot 100, and he debuted 2 songs in the top 5 simultaneously. First artist ever to do that, comeback complete. He showed that even 9 years of delays and legal battles couldn't erase his star power.
Okay, so post-settlement Wayne, he hasn't exactly been taking it easy, has he?
Not at all. The work ethic seems hardwired. 2020, he drops Funeral, another #1 album, quickly follows with a deluxe version featuring current stars like Doja Cat, Lil Uzi Vert, Still Connected.
And doing collaborations, too? That mixtape with Rich the Kid?
Trust Fund Babies, yeah, 2021. Apparently they knocked that out in like 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Just pure chemistry, back to that spontaneous mixtape energy.
What seems important in this recent phase is also him kind of organizing his legacy, getting those classic mixtapes onto streaming.
That's crucial. Sorry. Wait, no ceilings. Making that revolutionary free work available, and importantly, monetizable now. Cleaning up the back catalog for the streaming era.
And fixing old credits, like with the 2 Chainz project.
Right. Welcome to Call of Grove in 2023. The sequel to their 2016 album, Call of Grove. He wasn't credited as the main artist on the first one because the Cash Money situation was so bad then. This sequel corrects that, puts him back as an equal partner.
We also got his first official greatest hits album, I Am Music, last year. Had that unreleased track with DMX, too.
Yeah, Can't Nobody. Nice
Okay.
touch, connecting back.
So what's next? That Carter VI is confirmed.
Confirmed and announced via a Cetaphil ad.
Of course, only Wayne.
June 6, 2025, apparently.
Mm.
But beyond that, there are still those legendary shelved projects people talk about. I Can't Feel My Face, the collab with Jules Santana, that's been teased forever.
And Duvall, the album he wrote in jail.
Yeah, Duvall. Loved Backwards. It's supposed to be an album of love songs written during his time on Rikers Island. He confirmed back in 2013 it was coming. Still waiting on that one. Very intriguing prospect.
And maybe the biggest sign of moving forward. He publicly reconciled with Birdman.
January 2024. Pictures of them in the studio together. Seems like that 9-year war is officially over, which, hopefully clears the path for him to focus fully on this next creative chapter.
Okay, so the business drama seems settled. Let's dig into the artistry itself. What defines Lil Wayne's musical style?
At its core, it's that creative lyrical ability, like the sources say, heavy use of punchlines, wordplay, homonyms, metaphors, similes, and just relentless braggadocio. Confidence bordering on arrogance, but backed up by skill.
And his writing process was key to that, right? The whole no pen, no pad thing.
Crucial. He credits Jay-Z with the inspiration. Stop writing lyrics down. Just go in the booth, hear the beat, and freestyle the verses directly onto the track.
What does that do for the sound? What's the trade-off for working that way?
Well, it allows for incredible speed and spontaneity. Those amazing, unexpected punchlines often come from that immediate, in-the-moment creation. It prioritizes flow and instinct. The downside, sometimes it can lead to verses that maybe lack a tight structure or a clear narrative arc. That's the criticism we saw sometimes, especially later on. It's raw genius over meticulous polish.
His subject matter often courted controversy, wealth, drugs, sex. But his influences were surprisingly broad.
Incredibly diverse. He calls Missy Elliott his biggest musical inspiration. Says she influenced everything I've ever done, which is fascinating.
Dissy. Okay, didn't expect that.
Right. But then you also have the expected ones. Goody Mob, Tupac, Biggie. But also T-Pain, Prince, Lauryn Hill, Erykah Badu. That eclectic taste definitely fed into his ability to constantly morph his style and flow.
And that constant change, that innovation, is his legacy, really. He's called one of the most influential artists of the 21st century.
Consistently. And the greatest rapper of his generation. Because he didn't just make hits, He fundamentally altered the sound of hip-hop.
Specifically how? The sources mention auto-tune and trap music.
Yeah, his use of auto-tune was key. It wasn't like T-Pain, who used it as a full vocal effect. Wayne often used it more subtly, almost as punctuation within his raps, on ad-libs, on hooks, creating these melodic undertones.
And that influence trap.
Hugely. That melodic sensibility, combined with his unique cadences and flows, became a foundational element for the wave of trap artists that followed, especially out of Atlanta. He provided a sonic blueprint.
And the list of artists who say he influenced them is just staggering.
It's basically a who's who of modern hip-hop. Drake, Nicki Minaj, obviously he signed them, but also Kendrick Lamar, Future, Young Thug, Lil Baby, 2 Chainz, Polo G, the list goes on and on. He didn't just mentor, he literally shaped the sound of the generation after him.
His hometown certainly recognizes that impact. Key to the city of New Orleans.
Yep, November 2024 from Mayor Cantrell. And Master P is starting a NOLA Walk of Fame, with Wayne getting a fleur-de-lis plaque.
Plus, Lil Wayne Day.
February 6th and 7th now, officially in New Orleans. From Holly Grove kid to civic icon, it's quite the journey.
To really grasp the whole picture, though, we need to touch on his public life outside of music, the family, the health issues, the legal stuff.
Yeah, the complexities don't stop with the music. His family life has always been very public. 4 kids, 4 different partners.
Daughter Regina with Toya Johnson, his high school sweetheart and ex-wife.
Right. Married 2004-2006, but sources say they remain close, good co-parents. Then his sons, Dwayne III with Sarah Vivon, Cameron with actress Lauren London, and Neil with the singer Nivea.
And the timing there was complicated, wasn't it? London and Nivea pregnant around the same time.
Yeah, 2009. Highlights that very modern, blended family structure he's navigated throughout his fame. And now his son Neil, Lil Novi, is making music too. The legacy might continue.
What about his personal beliefs? He identifies as Catholic.
He does, yeah. Often references God or Jesus in his music and performances. Educationally, he did try college briefly, University of Houston in 2005, but his schedule was too crazy. Later took online psychology courses with University of Phoenix.
Psychology. Interesting choice given everything he's been through.
Maybe trying to understand it all. He's also a huge sports guy, beyond just being a fan.
Packers, Bruins, Lakers. But he owns a sports agency.
Brought one, yeah.
Yeah.
Renamed it Young Money APA Sports. And he's involved in sports media, too. Did the theme song for Skip and Shannon's show, Undisputed, pops up as a guest. He's just woven into the cultural fabric.
Okay, let's talk about the health scares. The seizures. Those started becoming public around 2012.
Yeah, reports of his private jet making emergency landing.
Yep.
Then the really serious incident in 2013. Hospitalized, critical condition.
And that's where the conflicting reports came in. TMZ blaming purple drink, codeine abuse.
Right. But his team, Mac Main, Birdman, they pushed back hard. Slammed TMZ, said the drug angle was exaggerated, and that these seizures were an ongoing issue. Epilepsy.
So drug-induced versus a medical condition. How do we reconcile those?
Well, we have to report both claims. But it's significant that his management, people close to him, consistently denied the primary cause was drug abuse, framing it as a pre-existing neurological condition. And whatever the trigger for specific episodes, the long-term diagnosis seems clear. Wayne himself has confirmed he has epilepsy.
And acknowledged it affects his memory now, trouble remembering his own songs.
Yeah, he mentioned that in 2023. That's a profound impact for a lyricist known for such intricate wordplay, a really difficult consequence of the condition.
Finally, the legal and political side. We know about the 2007-2008 arrests leading to the Riker sentence in 2010.
And then the more recent federal firearms charge in Florida in late 2020. He pleaded guilty. This was around the time he met with then-President Trump about criminal justice reform.
And Trump pardoned him.
Yep, on January 19, 2021, one of Trump's final acts in office, wiped that charge clean.
He also caught heat for that flag incident in the music video.
The God Bless America video in 2013. Yeah, the visual of him seemingly stepping on the U.S. flag caused a big backlash.
What was his explanation?
He said it wasn't meant as disrespect. The idea was the flag drops to the ground, revealing the hoods of America behind it. A visual metaphor that didn't land well for many people, got interpreted as desecration.
And then his comments on Black Lives Matter in 2016, those are really controversial.
Extremely. He basically said he didn't feel connected to it. A damn thing that ain't got nothing to do with me was the quote, I think.
Why did he feel that way?
His reasoning was personal. He said, look at me. I'm a rich black man. I have white fans. That proves black people are valued. It was a very individualistic, almost libertarian take. Success negates the need for collective movements. Drew a lot of criticism, but it's consistent with his self-made ethos, I suppose.
Okay, so we've traced this incredible arc. Child star, mixtape innovator, chart-topping mogul, legal warrior, influential icon. What's the big takeaway here?
I think the key takeaway is that Lil Wayne really is a blueprint. Over 120 million records sold. He pioneered using free content to drive mainstream success. He built an empire with young money that shaped the next waves. He fundamentally changed the sound of modern hip-hop, especially trap. And he did all this while navigating unbelievable internal industry conflict, major health issues, legal jeopardy. His creative output somehow thrived in the chaos, maybe even because of it sometimes.
It really makes you wonder about creative resilience, doesn't it? How do you keep that fire going, keep innovating, keep freestyling those verses when the structures around you are seemingly trying to hold you back? That sheer will to just get the music out, no matter the format. That seems to be his defining trait.
Absolutely. And that story isn't over. We mentioned those unreleased projects.
Yeah.
I Can't Feel My Face with Jules, and especially Devil. Those introspective love songs from Rikers.
Yeah, considering how his last big experiment, Rebirth, was received critically, it poses a really interesting final thought for you, the listener. What would the successful release on a project like The Vol, something potentially quieter, more reflective, born from incarceration, actually mean for Lil Wayne's legacy? Could the love songs from jail finally reveal a critically embraced, perhaps more peaceful version of Wheezy? Or does his audience, and maybe even his own creative spark, ultimately need that chaos that fueled so much of his legendary run?